I'm going to show you first is my Mastery in Math kit, and it comes with everything you need for kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2 math, believe it or not. So this is great for number construction, building numeracy skills, and addition, subtraction, and of course when we get into multiplication and division, this is great too. So this kit really has everything you need. Don't go out, don't get fancy subscriptions, don't go and buy a whole bunch of manipulatives. In fact, whatever you have in your home can work as well. When I first started this kit, I used to just use construction paper instead of the foam blocks that I have. But if you love what you see, you can order the kit off our website, zomacreative.com, or you can post a question about where to find the individual components of the kit. So let's go ahead, let's get started with the first part of the lesson. But before we do, I want to just show you how I set up the table with my students. So the first thing we're going to do here is we get all of our manipulatives, all of our materials, all of our workbook, our pencils and our pens set out. And the reason why I love setting up for success is because it builds good organizational habits. It's great, but it's so nice to start a lesson with everything you need. Just like when you're cooking, you know, you have your bowl, you have your fork, you have your flour, you have everything you need set out, and you're ready to start baking, which is great. So the next thing I do after I set up my kids, my students for success, is I explain the goal. So I say something like, today we are going to work on our number construction. So let's find out how to construct numbers like 1 and 2 and 3. And I might even ask them, how far do you want to go today? What number do you think we'll get up to today? And if they don't know their numbers, then they might say, I don't know. And if they do, they might set a lofty goal, like, let's go to 20. So it's fun to just play around and set goals. First of all, it's going to send this really, it's almost like a game where you're setting up this expectation that you're going to win, we're going to work towards something, and you're going to win, you're going to accomplish. But it also, when you do accomplish that goal, even if you only get part of the way, it sends off all these dopamine chemicals in our brain that say, that was fun and I accomplished something. So we really do want to set a goal, and if we can co-create that goal, that's even better. If your child comes up with a goal and you're sort of prompting them with what that could look like. Okay, so I've set my table up for success. I've set a goal. Now, the first thing we do when we're teaching kids numeracy skills is number recognition. And that's, you know, being able to know not just this is what a 1 looks like, this is what a 2 looks like. It's how do I construct a 1? How do I write a 1? And more importantly, what does 1 represent? So I love this little sheet here, these ones here. This is something that I've been developing over the years, and I have it down to something I think is perfect. It's perfect, it's simple, and it's like an all-in-one sheet. So on this sheet, you can see I've got this awesome little fuzzy number here. The kids love running their hands over this, and I'm going to explain what that's all about. You have this blank area right here, which is for your number construction. So put it right on there. And as you notice, it's laminated, so you can reuse it over and over and over, which is great. I love tools that you can use again and again. Because guess what? We never perfect something the first time we do it. So it's really great to be able to do this again and again. So I have here a little bit of gray the child's going to go over, and then next to it a blank spot where they're going to try their own. They're going to go over the gray, they're going to go over their own, and just repeating that a couple times. And then down here I have that word recognition of what this number looks like when it's spelled out, and I get my students to trace over that, and if they're confident with their letters, then I also get them to try that on their own. So we have a see it, touch it, make it, and try it. So see it, trace it, make it, try it. That's what I call this, and it's great because it unlocks so many parts of our brain. That tactile, haptic part is activated by the touch, and students love to close their eyes and play Guess Who with these numbers. That's another great activity. And then we have that kinesthetic part, which loves to build things and construct, which is why I call this number construction. And then we have that reinforcement piece, but with the guidance of someone else's work first. So that's a little bit of that self-smart where you're trying it for yourself, but you need that time to process. So there's some really interesting sort of right brain and left brain things going on within this one sheet, which is why I love it. Okay, so you are going to set this goal of 1, 2, and 3 today, let's say. So you start off, we build the 1, we touch the 1, we write the 1. Great, we do 2 and we do 3, and then your child says, okay, that's enough. Might take you 10 minutes, great, there we go. So then your next lesson, you're going to do 4, 5, and I love this part, as soon as you reach 5, we're gonna start playing with these little cheese blocks here, and we're gonna see how you actually make 5 in all these different ways. So stop here and just go over this page, and it's such a boost for the kids' confidence because like, wow, I'm already doing math. Okay, once you get to the tens, you sort of skip through to 20 and then 30, and then that's basically where I stop with the letter construction. And then I move on to place value in this kit. All right, I want to stop for 1 minute and step back and look at something that happens all the time. And I see this with grade 2 students, I've seen this with grade 9 students, and that's where your child is flipping numbers and letters. So often we think if they're doing some reversals, as we call it, that automatically that's dyslexia. And I want to let you know that that's not always the case. Definitely, in fact, most of the time it's not the case at all. So when you see flipped numbers and letters, especially before the ages of 7 and 8, usually that's more of a right brain glitch. In other words, your child has just superimposed the shapes of something into their visual memory incorrectly. They don't see a 3 as a 3. They see it as 2 half circles. So that's why I have this letter construction piece, and it's so important. It might take 10, 20, or 30 times to correct that glitch once your child has taken that visual, put it into their long-term memory, and is having those reversals and that confusion. So don't distress if you see your child flipping numbers and letters. It's often not a sign of dyslexia so much as a visual glitch, which we're going to correct really easily with this activity by repeating it as much as possible. So as you work through these Mastering Math booklets, come back to this first number construction lesson as often as possible to really, really get that haptic, that tactile, that visual memory down, like really get that solid.